Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Royal Ramble, brought to you by Orange County Championship Wrestling and Tino Evil. I'm your host for tonight, Jonathan Malice. To my left is the man without equal.
I am the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States in 2020. The lynchings for everyone. The purge begins 2020 thanks to Azrael. And Freddie Helmuth, you are number one to go back over that wall from whence you came, boy.
Azrael. And
yes.
I'm introducing you as Azrael. I didn't have all the superlatives. To my right is Sandra. She's going to be with us, and she's going to give us our Raw, WWE Raw recap out of Albany tonight.
Because, of course, I watched it with my no internet or cable.
Sandra's a housewife and has plenty of time to watch the television while she's baking cookies and knitting useful things for the menfolk. Tell me about your story.
Freedom as our guest, and a whole lot more. So, without any further ado, I give you Sandy Sandra with your Raw recap.
Okay, so it was not good. Raw has been pretty bad lately when it comes to storytelling, and at the end of the day, all they want to do is just get Roman over, so it's like, it's the same old stuff.
Roman Reigns?
Yes.
Well, he is over.
No, he's not.
Well, maybe not with the adult crowd, but I would have to say that...
If they're using Jinder Mahal to get him over, that's not good. And then Stephanie came back. She's been gone for a couple of months now, too. She hasn't...
Well, the last time we saw her was at WrestleMania.
The last time was WrestleMania, and then she showed up one more Raw after that, and then she's been gone ever since. But she basically showed up and just did the Stephanie thing where she just talked a lot of smack about
was that for the Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey contracts?
This is actually with the opening, which was Roman and Kurt Angle just kind of talking back and forth, saying that Roman just deserves a second chance for the title, which is like...
A second chance? Hasn't he had like 47 chances and been champion 37 times?
How many times has he held that title?
He leads the Dothraki people well into battle. He is the Call of Calls.
Really? He looks more like the updated Lorenzo Lamas version.
Don't speak that way to the King of Atlantis.
Anyway, so that ended up bringing up Kevin Owens to show up and him trying to be all nice with Stephanie, but it didn't work out. So it first started with Roman versus Kevin Owens, which ended up being a disqualification.
Because of the interference of Jinder Mahal?
Yes.
Okay.
So then they ended up, Seth Rollins came.
Made the save?
Yeah, so now they did a tag team, which ended up being Seth doing the, what do they call it now these days? Not the curb stomp, but what's the name they call it now?
Yeah,
I call it the curb stomp of doom, and it carries about 15 to 20 in the state pen. And I've used it on such luminaries as Othello and B.A. Marcus Frey, and, a lot of people like that, tall people.
Yeah, tall people.
Tall, yes, tall.
So it ended via, for lack of a better name, curb stomp.
Yeah, into a pin, 1, 2, 3, Roman and Seth went over.
They get the win, right?
Yep, they did.
Very good.
Shield, brothers. Shield. Yes.
If you're talking about Captain America,
Shield.
then I'll bump to that.
It used to be called the Shield.
Okay, talk a little bit about the Nia Jax Ronda Rousey contract signing.
Well, between that, there was one of the worst segments of all time, which was the Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn, where Sami Zayn...
Is Sami Zayn still mad about not being able to go to Abu Dhabi? Because I'm mad for him.
I would be mad too.
I'm pretty sure he's let it go. I think he looked at his paycheck for the month and decided, I don't even like flying.
He has to feed the children too, so
anyway,
he's fine. But I guess Sami Zayn brought guys to look like women that look related to Bobby Lashley, and they're supposed to be his sisters. It was not. It was bad.
Confusing times in America.
It was very bad. At the end, Bobby just ended up beating up everybody.
Okay, Bobby Lashley.
So yeah,
something he couldn't do in MMA. Okay, well that's interesting.
There's anything I support is people like Sami Zayn beating up people like Bobby Lashley. I taped that segment and watched it.
All right.
Yeah. So then after that ended up being the Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey signed contract. Once again, Stephanie just came in and just talked a bunch of crap, and and then they just signed the contract. Somebody threw the table. It was a typical sign-in thing. It wasn't really interesting, and I feel like it was way too soon.
I feel like people should have lawyers in 2018
Yeah,
to do their
like-
contract signing. Every time I go to a contract signing, somebody goes through a table or gets hurt or something, I feel like it's a trap.
So there was
A
none
trap.
of that this time.
It was so boring, and then it just made no sense to have it while Money in the Bank is, what is it, like 4 weeks? I think we had to skip a whole month, so it's like, it's still way too soon to have
Money
a
in the
contract.
Bank fast approaches, and it'll be the day of destiny for Braun Strowman to reach up and grab the brass ring that has been so denied. He has been held down by the anchor of Nicholas, and he has cast it aside to rise, Braun Strowman, and defeat Brock Lesnar.
I'm doing jazz hands.
That said, are you familiar with the the rumor about SmackDown going to Fox?
Well, yeah, they said that the price ended up being almost $1 billion.
Ooh, a goodly sum.
So-
Billion with the B?
Yep. Which is weird because it's like they don't really have a slot for SmackDown. The only thing that they see would be Friday nights, which was going to be very hard to sell because the majority of times on a Friday night, it's like people go out or the people
Wrestling
that-
fans don't go out. They don't have anything to do on a Friday night. Do you look into our crowd, Sandra? Do you look at these mouth-breathing bunch of fatties? Yeah.
Whoa. The views and opinions of Azrael do not reflect the views and opinions of those of us at the Royal Ramble, Free Admission, or Orange County Championship Wrestling, or frankly anyone else in their right mind.
See how you are.
All right. So, okay, let me ask you this: if it goes to, it's going to be broadcast TV now, right?
Yeah.
Broadcast TV for $1 billion, right? And now I'll actually be able to watch it because I have rabbit ears on my flat screen. Let this be a message to those of you out there who say wrestling is stupid and it's fake. Okay? $1 billion is the real thing. All right?
Drop out of school now, kids. Go to your local wrestling school. Come to the OCCW wrestling school and get a real education. And don't be encumbered by student loan debt. Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's true.
It could be $1 billion or $2 billion by the time you graduate, you youngsters out there. My point is this, right? Wrestling is growing by leaps and bounds. It is now. It was for the longest time. It was a linchpin in cable television. When cable television was
Yeah.
brand new, TBS, USA Network, it was the highest rated shows on a lot of these cable channels. Now it's coming to broadcast TV on the regular. I think maybe the last time pro wrestling was on the broadcast was when on the regular was when the Dumont Network was still in, and that's in the late 50s.
Oof.
Yeah. Do you
Channel
remember
13,
that?
right? SmackDown was on Oopin.
But that's
The Oopin show.
that-
After
yeah.
Buffy the
That was
Vampire
you.
Slayer.
Yeah,
if I
that wasn't
recall.
necessarily.
Is that not a
UPN.
network? Just because there's some,
Yeah, exactly.
The PJs was
A
on?
real
Is it not a
network.
network to you? Because that's
In
an Eddie
any
Murphy
case,
show.
in any
It's a good
case,
show.
so SmackDown's going to be on broadcast TV.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it was originally on UPN. That's right. Okay, Channel
Yeah,
13.
UPN,
Okay.
and then they switched it over, and then, what is it? Who has it now? Is it I thought it was the Spanish station, Telemundo?
Telemundo, or is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Seriously? My God.
Okay. Anything else about Raw that you want to share with us, or the WWE in general?
Matches that happened in Raw. So we had here. Let's start from the top. We had Amber Moon defeating Alexa Bliss, and it was a
Good.
clean pin, which is weird because, like I was actually talking about this a while ago, but I feel like Amber Moon so far has been the only NXT call-up that has been booked over than what she was in NXT. Like in NXT, she was just there to get the title and then keep it for a month and then drop it and then all of a sudden appear on Raw or SmackDown. But they're booking her pretty
No, that's
good,
good,
pretty
that's good,
strong.
that's
So
good.
for her to go over Alexa Bliss, who was the first ever woman to have both the SmackDown and the Raw titles. So,
Interesting.
and then after that, Baron Corbin defeated No Way Jose, which is just a throwaway match.
I'm
really.
getting the feeling that you're not a big fan of the WWE.
How'd you know?
Are you one of those people who, like, back in the 90s was all about ECW and hated on WWF
I
and
love
WCW?
NXT.
I actually
NXT.
was.
I'm an NXT kid. That's what it is.
Yeah. So you're not exactly unbiased in your opinion of
No.
the WWE. Okay, fair enough. Anything else?
After that, it was the B team, which was Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel versus Breezango, which they're booking the B team to be the next tag team, so they're considered A team.
Well,
So it's like they're trying to get them to be a lot more bigger than what they used to be. You know, they were with the Miz almost a year and a half.
right.
So I'm actually glad because Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel they know how to cut promos and they know how to wrestle. So it's like they deserve something.
There you go. Maybe we'll have the next Edge and Christian or something like that, right?
No.
No, they've been tagged.
Sadly, no.
Yeah, that's
Edge
a
and
sad
Christian are
thing.
incredibly talented,
Yeah.
handsome, and tall, and funny, and I think married.
You really like-
I mean, you
Wait,
know.
wasn't one of them married to Lita or something like that?
No,
No,
she was
no.
dating
I know what was
him.
going
Yeah.
on. All right.
Oh, he knew her biblically.
In the yeah. All right. So is that anything else going on in WWE that we should know about?
I'm looking into it, but yeah, Natalia actually went over Sarah Logan.
She defeated Sarah Logan.
Yeah. For the Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Oh, right. So now she has Money in the Bank.
Yeah, so now
Look at that. A wrestler with Money in the Bank. When was the last time you heard of that?
Well, a lot of them make a goodly sum.
That's
goodly
true.
portion. John Cena. Can a brother borrow 350?
Can a brother borrow 350?
I've been trying to learn how they talk.
John Cena's as white as you are.
And, you know, he's got that Marine pension. Didn't he kill, like, 50 men in Iraq or something?
Something like
Did
that.
he?
Yes, he did the thing, and he hit the move.
In any case.
John Cena got Bin Laden.
Okay. I thought the dog's name was John Cena.
No.
No, it's Indiana Jones.
Who named someone Indiana? That's just... Oh, dear Lord.
Let's not talk about that. By the way, my son turned 18 this weekend, so if you're out there watching Indy, that's his name, Indiana Jones Dello. If you're out there watching, which I hope you are, happy birthday. All right. So if there's nothing else, we'd like to thank and dismiss our good friend Sandy Sandra. Right? Until next week. And by the way, we all know about your your injury, and we're hoping for a quick recovery and giving you our best.
Yay.
All right, get better, sweetie. All right, that was Sandy Sandra, OCCW, Jill of all trades, if you will. Right?
She does a lot of our video editing.
Yes, a lot of our video editing, and she keeps us up to date on things like New Japan, NXT.
I'm a
WWE.
very busy man and can't watch every hour of wrestling. I'm on wrestling programs like OCCW Mind Games, for example.
Mind Games was this weekend, and we held that at American Legion Post 716. We had 7 matches, including the Tag Team Champion, OCCW Tag Team Champion match, and the Heavyweight Championship match. Let's talk first about the Malcor versus Tony Reyes match. Now, Tony Reyes came out with the Austin Mahler.
Midwest Mauler.
Midwest
Very
Mauler.
confusing.
Yes, he came out in a mask,
He
right?
appears like a cow.
Having
A
his
mad
own
bull.
little mind game going against Malcor, and they had just one of them knock down, drag out, let you bleed, burn, and sweat.
Tony Reyes took him to the woodshed, put a beating on that boy. They look like their father and son, bigger and fatter versions, and so Tony Reyes was victorious.
Congratulations to Tony Reyes and his victory. And then later demands on the mic a title shot against Othello. See, the problem with demanding a title shot is that maybe I'll give you one and then you have to get in the ring with Othello. But I digress. Let us go on to the next match, which was scheduled to be La Raza versus Suburban Justice with Chris Camacho and Drew Masters. Now,
Yes.
Drew Masters was unexpectedly detained for some reason, and we had a surprise substitute.
I bet La Raza had about 37 of their cousins hop out of their car and put the beating on him. They got out of their 69 Chevy lowrider with the bouncing wheels or whatever, and they put the beating, to Drew Masters and, slowed him down. Didn't stop him, but just slowed him down just enough.
They took the chain off the steering wheel and put a beating on him, huh?
All of those things happened. And then Rudy Rogers comes
old
to the
friend of yours.
rescue. Doo-doo-doo, my name's Rudy, and I'm going to come help be tag team champions.
And
That's how he talks.
They they had a pretty good dust up there, and ultimately unable to win the tag team titles from La Raza. Good showing.
Raza has the unity and community.
Which brought us to the B.A. Marcus Frey, which was scheduled to be a B.A. Marcus Frey and Voodoo Master singles competition. At the last minute, Drew shows up demanding a match. Marcus Frey volunteered to beat them both up.
Props to Drew Masters for dusting himself off after getting beaten like a piñata by 37, Juan Antonio Chavez's, and he shook it off and he limped into the ring a little bit off from that beating, but, B.R. Marcus Frey, he's a big, strong man.
Not B.M. Marcus Frey. B.A. Marcus Frey.
What is that? Does that stand for something? What's his name?
I'm not sure it stands for bad attitude.
Okay, I think he's a complicated man, from last I've heard.
Well, he's hard to understand.
Nobody understands B.A. Marcus Frey.
Except for his woman.
You know what? You shut your mouth.
I'm talking about B.A. Marcus Frey.
Oh, then you're right.
All right. Well, so anyway, they had that turned into a three-way dance between Marcus Frey, Voodoo Master, and Drew Masters. Ended when Voodoo wound up pinning Drew Masters with Marcus Frey on the outside of the ring.
That Voodoo can strike out of anywhere, and you know what? B.A. Marcus Frey was tied down by his fears and his superstitions. Those people, they fear the Voodoo down there in Louisiana, with the big eyes. Oh, Lord Jesus!
What people is that?
Your tall people.
Tall people?
A lot of tall people.
All right. Once again, the views and opinions of Azrael, etc., etc.
Voodoo Masters sacrificed an entire chicken
Royal
for
Ramble.
this match. And then B.A. Marcus Frey fried that chicken.
Okay. In any case, these kinds of incendiary comments are going to get us kicked off of the interwebs.
How you get kicked off? I've seen a lot of crazy things on the internet.
No, maybe not. But, we could lose a few sponsors here.
Very well, very well.
And speaking of sponsors.
And Mikey O'Shea took on Daniel Moon. O'Shea, typically a big giant oafish man, but he looked very good against Daniel Moon running around, showing him the full moon.
The full moon.
BW.
Okay, fair enough. And Mikey O'Shea and Daniel Moon. Daniel Moon making his first appearance here at OCCW, and they had a barn burner. It was back and forth, forward and back. Mikey O'Shea, Daniel Moon. People were asking, who's going people were, hey, what's going on here? Why is this little guy hanging so tough with Mikey O'Shea? You're a smaller, you're about the same size as Daniel Moon.
I'm a big giant man.
Okay.
I'm a full person, and my vote counts more than anyone else's, boy howdy.
Or you're part of the Electoral College?
Yes.
Okay.
I will decide your future.
That said, you've been in the ring with Mikey O'Shea. What was Daniel Moon doing right? Ultimately, what did he wind up doing wrong in that he did not win that match?
You know what you needed to do, Daniel Moon? You needed to offer him a big piece of pumpkin pie. You put that on a stick, you have Mikey O'Shea chase it around for a good couple of minutes, and then you can roll him up for the 1, 2, 3 after he exhausts himself. Because there's nothing like, what are you doing on... No, bad touch!
Really?
Bad touch!
No, that was caught.
Oh, very well, very well. It was 5 stars next to the Moon, and the Millennium Pro champion Daniel Moon was able to put on a good showing against Mikey O'Shea, the overgrown leprechaun, the leprechaun on steroids, by God. He looks like he ate a leprechaun or two.
He doesn't look like he's on steroids. Mikey O'Shea can't be here with us tonight. He's on assignment, scouting his next match. So Mikey O'Shea winds up pinning Daniel Moon, correct?
Yes, he's very heavy.
What is that amazing finisher that he does? What does he call that?
Gunslinger.
The gunslinger, right?
Boom, like that.
Yes, very indicative of
it hurts.
Mikey O'Shea when he's in that ring. Okay, which brings us to your match.
Wait, no, Max Ammo versus Jimmy Mayhem. You can't just gloss over, Jimmy Mayhem like he just doesn't matter, like he doesn't count for some reason,
I certainly was not glossing over Jimmy Mayhem. I have tons of respect.
If there's anything I hate, is British people, and we were able to be rid of Max Ammo. One less, one fewer in the United States.
It was Max Ammo's farewell match,
yeah.
And it was a street fight. We had a couple of tables that didn't cooperate with...
Those tables were made in America, by God. No cheap Taiwanese table. That table took a pounding. It took a licking. It took a, it was quite the affair. And that table did not break.
No, it didn't. It wouldn't break. Jimmy Mayhem is a very large individual.
He is quite gigantic.
Yes, and him and Max went back and forth. There was kendo sticks, there was tables, there was trash cans and trash can lids, there was blood, there was tears, and there was a whole lot of beers.
I cried. I wept. I didn't know who to cheer for, what to do. But by God, Jimmy Mayhem come out with the victory.
Yeah, after going through a couple of tables, he winds up rolling Max up for the pin, and the end of Max Amo's career, as he will be sent back to jolly old England.
Yes.
Yes.
God save the Queen.
Yes, God save the Queen and the poor guy who just got married, Prince Harry.
Oh yeah, is he the King of England now?
No.
Do I have to bow down? What do I do? I mean, I'm kind of Irish descent. What do I do about
He's
this?
like the Duke of Dorchester or
I didn't read a lot of Shakespeare. I don't know what all these
Earl
things
of Earldom or
Duke
Lord of
Earl. I don't know. Most
Duke
of you
of
don't
Earl.
bother to vote. I am the King of America.
Yes.
My God.
Okay, so so did you watch the royal wedding?
No, the only royal wedding I care about is Aragorn and Arwen. She's a beautiful woman.
Oh, she really was.
Yes.
Okay, that said, let's talk about your match with Helmuth.
Yes, let's.
Freddie Helmuth, and you used to be part of what was it called? Diminished Expectations or something like that?
Divine intervention.
Oh, I'm
How
sorry.
difficult is it to understand? Some of us love the devil, some of us are vaguely of religious orientation, and it comes together, and we are able to divinely intervene in other people's matches and bring glory and truth and beauty to OCCW.
Yes, and you.
But now I'm rid of them, thank God.
Yes. Well, rid of them is one way of putting it. You still have to deal with Freddie Helmuth. It turns out that match. Well, let's talk about
What
that match
was
a
your
little
problem with? I won fair and square. That was a nice count from referee Freddie Havoc. A 1, 2, and then he had to think about it because he's been kendo sticked in the head many times. 3.
On
and
the
then
contrary,
I'm victorious.
On the contrary, that looked like a pretty quick count. And if you watch it, when we get it up on our YouTube channel, OCCW Mind Games, you'll see. Well, you decide for yourself. I thought it was a quick count. And, I didn't really hold it against him because Freddie was kind of bullying the referee from start to finish. And I think maybe Freddie Havoc got a little fed up with it.
Yeah, Freddie Helmuth is a crazed moron. They're tired of both of them having the name Freddie. This has to be decided. Freddie Havoc has been a wrestler for many, many years in UEW. I've seen him bleed his own blood, by the gallon. So he's going to be taking on Freddie Helmuth, and he's going to be coming, back to wrestling. Out of the shadows and into the light.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. What happened was Helmuth took exception to the fact that count seemed a bit quick, and he took it upon himself to attack and start punching on Freddie Havoc.
After I win, I just don't care. I threw him to the wolves and I left to beat on the poor defenseless man. What do I care?
True.
He was
and
counting in Spanish.
And then he takes the kendo stick and breaks it over Havoc's head.
I mourned.
Why would anybody fight over the name Fred?
Freddy Krueger, there's rights, royalties, name, honor.
Yes, honor. All right, the honorable name of Freddie. Okay, that said, all right, that takes us to our main event, which was the big fellow, Othello, OCCW heavyweight champion against Vintage Dragon,
The pride of Puerto Rico.
Nicaragua.
Why do you talk about us getting kicked off the air and you're just throwing around the worst of slurs? What is wrong with you?
That is not the worst of slurs. The worst of slurs is Irish. Irish McPatty.
No. We're fine people.
Or
We've been
Republican.
president before,
Yes.
Hey, now, I've been president many times.
Okay. So, we have the 2018 OCCW Bushido Cup champion, Vintage Dragon, giving away a lot of weight, size, height, strength
Masculinity.
to Othello. Your thoughts on that match?
Vintage Dragon I thought would win. He's got the kung fu, karate, he's kind of, where's this place he's from? It's next to Japan, right? It's pretty close to Japan. He looks like a karate guy.
Nicaragua is in Latin America.
Are you sure?
And he's from a small island off the coast thereof.
We're part of America.
No.
Santa Ana?
No.
Looks like he's from Santa Ana.
You're thinking of the United States of America.
That's the only one that matters, by God.
Well, it may be the only one that matters, but it's not the only one that exists.
Okay.
All right? There's other parts of the Americas. There's North America, South America.
So he's Samoan. Tommy's mom. There's a hard-headed people. I was surprised. He took a beating from Othello that would crush the head of a regular person, but he one of them island folk, drinking blood out of the skulls of his enemies and whatnot since the birth. And I really thought that Vintage Dragon was going to have this, but he must, the love of that cup is just not strong enough. Just not enough.
Another back and forth battle with a smaller, quicker opponent, trying to run and tire out a larger, stronger, quick moving, frankly.
Freakish.
Yes, freakishly strong. Now, you've been in the ring with him as well. He's amazingly strong.
Threw me like a damn dart through the wall.
Anyway, after a titanic struggle, sadly, Vintage Dragon was not able to defeat Othello, but it looks like, based on the strength of that match and some of the mitigating circumstances that helped foretell the ending, it looks like there might be a rematch in Vintage Dragon's future with Othello.
I had bet about 30,000 yen on Vintage Dragon until I found out that was only about $3. So it wasn't really that bad a night for me after all. I got a win and I lost like $3.
Good for you. So all in all, we had 150 people in attendance at American Legion Post 716. Not our biggest crowd, but definitely an enthusiastic and raucous crowd. Not to mention, by the end of the night, inebriated and nauseous.
Fluids everywhere.
Everywhere. Your thoughts on the show? How'd it go, and what did you think of it?
I won. I liked it. My favorite one in many months.
You didn't put any holes in any walls? I didn't lose my security deposit this time.
Nothing broke. Except
Nothing
the table.
broke.
The second table broke. Real good.
Which brings us to our next topic on OCCW. June 2nd, we have our monthly House Rules show. Now, the House Rules show features and showcases the upcoming talent at OCCW, as well as some of the veteran talent around the SoCal indie scene. All right? We have Malcor matched up against Chris Camacho. We have Freddie Flores. We have Drew Masters. We have Vega. We have Voodoo. Azrael.
Yes.
Yes. B.A. Marcus Frey.
What?
Oh, yeah. And many others. We haven't signed the main event yet.
Oh, come on. No. Not another one. No, come on now.
I did not.
No.
I'm just naming people that are going to be on the card. I certainly would. You know what?
You know what? Why don't they just have their
What do you mean another one?
Badass Marcus Frey can have his separate but equal match right over there, and I'm gonna have one of my matches against Rudy.
I don't think
Rudy. Maybe.
No, you've wrestled Rudy.
Heidi. What's
Heidi's
Heidi?
a woman.
What? So?
Well,
I'm nothing if not, gender, cool.
Friendly?
Weirdos.
You know what? You know what? I'll tell you what I think I'm gonna do. I think you need to learn a lesson. And they say familiarity breeds contempt. There's already contempt on your end. I'm going to make you more familiar with our friend B.A. Marcus Frey. That's right. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. House rules. Azrael, the ever-living vampire, will be taking on B.A. Marcus Frey and Michael Primrose in his corner. My good friend Michael Primrose. So don't miss this. That's June 2nd. Show doors open at 6. Doors open at 5. Show starts at 6. All right. Make sure you be there. Tickets are $10 at the door or prepaid. Okay.
No EBT.
No EBT. That is true. We don't take EBT.
3 forms of picture ID are necessary.
No, that's not necessary. You don't need 3 forms of picture ID unless it's Andrew Jackson.
Better not. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. 3 presidents.
And that said, we're gonna move on to our special guest. But before we do that, I want to mention a good friend of mine by the name of Vivian Gonzalez. She's going to be representing Ecology Studio Designs at the Dear Handmade Life Presents Patchwork Show Modern Makers Festival. That is this Saturday in Santa Ana, in downtown East 4th Street, at North Spurgeon Street. Ooh, that's a mouthful. In Santa Ana. Where am I? That's not it. Anyway.
Sounds like something you'd go to.
May 27th on 3rd Street. A what?
You know how to party.
What did you say?
A knitting festival.
No, it's not a knitting festival. A patchwork show, meaning it's different styles of artisans in a festival where they're going to be selling their goods, their wares, and everything. And Vivian will have a booth under Ecology Studio Design. She's going to be selling, you're going to like this, scarves, like for your hair. And
white scarves, mayhap? perhaps. I might
I said
need-
scarves, not robes.
Oh, then I will continue to shop at Walmart.
Continue to shop at Walmart. Do you own stock in Walmart?
I should.
No, no. Our next guest is known throughout the Southern California wrestling scene, right? He's been involved in such big shows and companies such as PCW and
Bumps and bruises.
Bumps and Bruises. Without further ado, if I can keep tripping over my own tongue, we are going to welcome in Mr. Mike Freedom. Come on in, Mike.
Yes. Azrael's a man who loves freedom, as long as it's mine.
Hey guys, how are you?
Do a quick mic
Good.
check. Make sure. Can you hear him?
Check,
All right.
check, 1, 2. What's
All
up?
right.
Keep
You
my
are
soul.
good. You are good. Mike Freedom.
Gentlemen,
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm
good.
good.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see
You
you.
want to shake hands?
Pleasure's
God
mine.
save the queen.
What's up, everybody? You hear me all right?
Okay.
Keep my mouth in there, yeah?
Well, you know.
Do we need subtitles?
Uh,
Do we need a translator?
translate.
The
Do we
people
need
should
sign
be able to speak
language?
Limey.
So, okay,
It's
first.
like Americans.
Well, you should have
but
tuned
a little
everybody in with your
fancier.
accent there, so we should be okay, shouldn't we?
The people have been trying to follow my accent as it travels across the British Isles.
Bit of
and
Game of
throughout the
Thrones
world.
going on there.
Yes. Like Ed Sheeran himself. I see fire on the
you
mountainside.
definitely got the Ed Sheeran going on, there's no doubt about that.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike. First, before we go into where you've been in the business, tell us how you found wrestling and how it brought you here to Southern California.
Well, back in the early 90s when I was at university in London, I had a friend who was a wrestler who was trained by Sabu, and then he went to ECW. He made his day. Oh, he's not in the wrestling business any longer. Actually, he vanished off the face of the planet, but he went under the moniker Dirt Bike Kid.
Dirt bike. I remember the dirt
Do you
bike
remember him?
kid. Sure. I
Yeah,
remember that.
Jesse Hernandez trained him.
I read about him in the Aftermags.
Right.
But I never saw him. But I remember.
So that's
Dirt
how I
Bike
go
Kid.
way back with Jesse as well.
Oh, right on.
So, he actually, and that's the whole story. So, I started doing the media with him, and then I started looking after the wrestlers when they came in, and then he actually ended up training me.
Wow.
Well, yeah, you say training, I just got the, you know what beaten out of me.
Well, that
it was,
happens
it was in a
sometimes.
boxing gym, in a boxing ring, and I just basically,
wow.
all I really learned was how to get beaten up,
Well,
you know,
sometimes it's a good lesson.
land safely on my back.
Yeah.
You
sure,
know,
sure,
basically
sure.
that was about it. The rest of it was all in the ring. So, really fell into it that way. Did training. I had a few matches in England. I had a big match in 2000 that was in front of a big crowd in a company called FWA,
FWA.
which was big. They were not
What
so
was
much
it-
anymore.
What was FWA?
Frontier Wrestling Alliance, I think it was called, but they were big in the UK.
Oh,
They
really?
they had like Eddie Guerrero coming
Oh.
in. Yeah, they had some big shows. Like this show had about, I mean, it was like 2,500, maybe 3,500 people in Halifax. Dan Seven was on that show. Remember
Okay,
we were
sure.
talking
Then, yeah, we're talking about Dan
in the
Severn. We're trying
dojo,
to get him
yeah.
on the next show.
So without giving you a long, diatribe about how it happened, that's how I kind of got into the business.
Diatribe. The man
And
uses real words for crying out loud.
I
Diatribe. You know
go
what
to the
diatribe is?
bathroom a regular amount.
It's like
I
a
used-
soliloquy.
I used
A
to get a
diatribe? Is that
soliloquy,
where
yeah, there you
Rudy's
go.
from? The diatribe? Rudy's a little Indian fella on the
Okay.
show, and he's like, oh,
Hey,
I was
okay,
always
all right,
what
all
these
right.
people are called.
All right, now we digress. Keep going. You were saying.
So yeah, ended up doing some training. I learned how to run a wrestling company. Then I would basically look after Sabu, carry his bags, take
Right,
care
right.
of him. Just basically doing, paying your dues and whatnot.
Right.
And actually, I ended up. He was working for XPW. And then I got invited over, and I came to LA. That was in November 2000.
Mhm.
So I went on a loop, an XP. Oh, well, I call it a loop, but a week sort of with XPW in San Bernardino. Did some
Burning
other
out
show.
different cities with
Yeah,
XPW to where no one
ba-
they'll never
basically
wrestling
Sabu.
again.
So, and then I never left. I stayed in LA. I was
You're not-
25.
You're not here illegally,
No, I'm a citizen now.
Okay.
We have to check now because
Yeah,
we
we're
just
all good.
lost one back
Yeah.
to the
We
Keating
did,
country,
yeah.
you know.
Max Ammo got deported
Yeah.
back to
Oh, he's really?
Yeah.
Of all the people on the
Hang on,
card,
are you serious?
it's
Yeah,
his
yeah.
cousin.
He got shafted out. Shut
Maybe
up.
we shouldn't be discussing
Okay,
this
we'll
on
talk
here.
about this
Max,
off-
if you're watching, hey, we'll send you a
Wow,
cake with a
dude,
file.
Max, you should have spoke to me, man. I would have been able to. Well, anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I
made
got
the
and
wrong
being,
phone call.
being the
Made the
English
wrong
guy.
phone call.
Yeah. Anyway, so stayed in LA, and then I got involved. Obviously through the ECW links, I got involved. There's a company in Philadelphia called 3PW.
3PW?
3PW. It was at the ECW Arena.
Okay.
Blue Meanie.
Okay.
You know Blue Meanie, he's
Yeah,
one of my
sure,
best
sure,
friends.
sure.
So anyway, I got involved in there and actually invested in that. The company didn't survive, but it had a
Right.
really good run. And
Right,
there was some
right.
great talent there. I mean, it was really strong at one point,
Right,
but
right.
like a lot of companies, after 4 years, it
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
took a dip. And then I thought, that's about it. You know, I'm okay. MMA was kicking in. And I thought, man, pro wrestling's probably fizzling out. We're talking 2005.
Right.
So that's when you opened your
Oh no, I opened in
Dojo, isn't it?
1994.
Okay, yeah,
but
but
the
you-
one where we're at now
it was
was
2004.
2004.
Right.
yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, I started a new business,
Right.
like just, bread and butter business, what was going to pay my bills and get me a house and all that kind
Sure.
of stuff.
Oh, that's terrible.
Wrestling ain't going to do that,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know, but.
And then a couple of years ago,
Don't,
you know,
What am I gonna do with my life? I need to go back to community college. I failed out 6 times.
You need to keep working for me. You need to keep working for me. Don't
You've
worry.
told
It's
me
okay.
that you've been.
You're all right. No. You get big money. But you want
I
to be a
need
big
to-
star?
I need
Want
to-
be a big
I
star
wa-
kid?
I do
You
wanna
big
be a
star?
big
Okay,
star.
all right. Well, don't worry. We'll get you there. You're going to be famous and rich.
Oh, thank God.
All right.
wrestling will take you to the
Okay.
wrestling will
The
take you to the
promised
promised
land.
Thank
land.
God.
Listen
Don't
for
worry.
me.
You heard it
We'll
here
do that
first,
for you.
kids. Drop out of school and come to the OCCW Training Academy.
Bring your money.
post-haste.
Bring your tuition.
The ring is paved with gold.
Gold.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
I got sucked back into it with obviously a company that I was involved with and left.
Let's talk about that. You talking about PCW?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a timeline. PCW,
Yeah.
you started it, right? Or helped
Yeah, me and Mike
open it?
Sharnagle.
When was this?
I want to say 2000. Well, the first show was January 2016, but it was about 6 months before that when we started cranking it
Okay.
up, looking for a venue.
And your first
Setting
venue
it
was
up.
at that gym?
It was at Oak Street Gym
Yeah,
in Torrance.
okay.
Yeah.
And that was MVP was on the card?
MVP,
The
and
body
main
bag
event.
match and all
Yeah,
that? Okay.
yeah,
I actually
yeah.
went to that card. That was
Right.
I remember going there, and I'm not going
Yeah.
to put you on the spot,
No,
but
okay.
I remember going in there and I'm looking around, and it had all the production values of one of the early 90s, late 80s, like the UWF, right?
Right.
Or even WCW
Yeah.
at some point. It was well lit. There were cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
There were staff members everywhere.
Yeah.
The guys on the card, you had MVP, you had...
JR Kratos.
yeah, there was some pretty big names. I'm like,
Yeah.
how? And it was a
not
decent
Jeff
crowd.
Cobb. Jeff Cobb wasn't on that show. Yeah, it was good. We had Scorpio Sky, Kenny
Scorpio
King.
Sky, that's right, Kenny King. So
both
there
good
was
friends
there
of
was a
mine.
decent crowd, but I'm thinking
Yeah.
to myself, how the hell are they making money on
It
this
was
show?
about that one was about I want to say less than 250, but more than
In attendance?
230. Yeah.
250
And then the
people?
second show was about 400.
Okay,
And
the
I
ticket prices
left
were what?
after the third show.
okay.
Ticket prices now are quite high. To be honest with you, it wasn't. It was a bit of an acrimonious split. So
Yeah, I
I
put you on the
haven't.
spot.
Yeah, I had. No, that's all right. I'm fine. I'm in a really positive place in my life.
Right.
And even though I don't have much love for PCW, I'm happy that there's people getting work and getting
Right.
paid, and there's an opportunity for people. And they do bring in some. They do have a good product.
Sure.
And they bring in some great talent, and it's a
Right.
great opportunity for people to work. And I want wrestling to do well, so I want every company to be strong. And
Certainly.
if there's places for people to work, that's a good thing. That's
Fair
always
enough.
a good thing,
Fair
you
enough.
know.
And I would have to sort of agree.
It's-
Right? The problem is this, all right? I see this, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
When I see the level of talent and the production values they have
Right.
for that show,
Yeah.
and then I don't see it anywhere. I don't see it on TV. I don't
Okay.
see it like Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I don't
They
s-
do the Fight app thing, I believe,
Okay.
and then some streaming stuff.
Okay, but someone like me who's been a lifelong wrestling fan,
Yeah.
who's maybe a little bit behind, would you say, on technology?
Right.
Hulk Hogan is not
I'm
champion
kind
any
of similar.
longer.
I don't really want to watch and I'm talking about any product. If it's not on my TV, I don't want to sit there looking at it on my iPad.
Right, I'm sorry.
Or I can watch some highlights on YouTube or
Right.
something, but I'm not that dedicated enough to watch it on a fire.
Fair enough.
But obviously, with people who have got these fire sticks and they can
Right,
watch
right.
it on the TV,
Okay.
you have to be a pretty dedicated wrestling fan to watch all these independent wrestling companies, and then the 7 or 8 hours of WWE programming a week, and then you've got Impact, and then if you get Ring of Honor, I mean, that's a lot of wrestling.
That's a lot of wrestling. My point. Go
Yeah,
ahead. We can
And
say
you're
something?
missing out on OCCW on YouTube
there you go.
and Facebook.
and Facebook.
Yes. So my point is this: I see these high production values. I see this obviously well-paid talent roster. And I'm saying to myself, how long can they go on? I mean, are they? And without putting anyone again, I don't want to put you. Are they making a profit? Will they be around for a long? Are they deficit spending, or is it just someone with a shit ton of money that's going to throw it?
Honestly, it's hard for me to even because it's not my checkbook, it's not my wallet, and I mean, I
Okay,
mean,
how about this? How about
if
let's do some quick forensic math?
Honestly,
All right, how much
honestly,
you taking prices?
I think it must be hard to make money with that kind of.
Okay.
But obviously, if it wasn't succeeding, they wouldn't be around. So
Okay,
mean-
fair enough.
How many meatball sandwiches does Rob Van Dam demand per
0.
match? What?
Well, he hasn't had.
Not
Wait, hold
everyone
on.
gets paid in the meatballs.
Hold on. To be fair,
lying to
be
me.
fair, right? If he were good enough to have your spot,
Nah.
just let me know when we're back. You didn't want to say anything about Eric. Still counted to 3.
Yeah, win's a win.
Bully Zone. Let's talk a little bit about the new member of Bully Zone, the one who was demanding from my mother free meatball sandwich. I see him again, and he's gonna get a friggin' knuckle sandwich. I see him. And you talk to my mother like that? Oh, brother, that's you've put yourself in the same line of beatdowns as Seville Alvarez and what's that other idiot, John Allen. All right. Okay, what were we talking? We're talking about your match.
Seville Alvarez.
That guy's a douche. Anyway,
That's the fellow who's in New Mexico, who's in
Yes,
Championship Wrestling.
Seville
from
the
Hollywood.
Thrill, champion of Arizona.
AKA Gino Rivera.
Yes.
Really? Seville's a
Yes.
champion
Not
of
a friend
Arizona?
of yours. Yes.
Arizona must be a
You're
really
a good
small
friend.
place.
How do you get on your nerves?
Well, you know what? He ran away. He ran out. It's a long story, but basically what happened was
I've got no beef with him, but I know the character.
I can't stand him, and he wanted to. He was mad that he didn't win his match with Tony Reyes and didn't win the title.
All right.
He, for some reason, like 3 days before, he says, "Oh, I'm moving to Arizona after this match," and he felt that he should still win the title.
Okay.
I'm like, no, if you're moving, why am I going to have you take my title with me?
Right.
Well, I want to win all my matches. I get very frustrated. One time I lost a match, and there was a U-Haul, and I ripped the car in half on the way out.
The
I
true
attached
story.
it.
He did
Yeah.
that. He did destroyed
Makes me
the
lose-
referee's
I lose my
car.
tag team titles.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
not.
hey,
Okay.
we're talking about something else right now.
Fine.
Are we back live? now?
That said,
We're on.
Okay.
oh yeah, we've been on the air, so I've been.
Oh, have we? Oh, so
MFing
that,
Civil
oh,
Alvarez the
right. I
whole
didn't
time.
know. Okay, right.
Well, to be continued.
All right. So then, so we covered Watts and Super
Lots
Panda.
of Super Panda. So
Classic-
you're taking who and
The Super Panda.
why is that?
Because he's black and white and Asian. He's all of the things together, and he's probably good at Kung Fu.
Gotcha.
All right, and then we got Desi Dorata against Heather Monroe. Now,
How do you pronounce it? Desi Dorata?
She's actually fought in King of the Cage. She's got an MMA career.
Is that her?
Jeff Cobb's
what's
significant other?
Is her name
Jeslyn.
Desi Dorata? She fought Jasmine
Jeslyn.
Jeslyn.
Yeah.
I might know it.
Yeah.
Where, here in California, she fought?
She was based up in, I want to say Sacramento, Northern California,
Okay.
but they just moved to Vegas. California. I think she's from out here in California. And then Heather Monroe, who is got quite a name on the independent scene. She tags with Laura, Joey Ryan's wife,
Okay.
in the Bays.
That ought to be a great match,
Yeah.
then,
I booked it, so I hope so.
huh? And two of your good friends are also wrestling on this card.
I don't know Al Snow.
Oh,
He's not my friend.
Oh.
Who am I friends with?
There's okay. Who
I
are they
got
up
no
against?
friends.
Hardcore Holly and Al Snow against who?
Yeah, Bob Hardcore Holly against True Grit.
And I hope they die. The cow people.
Don't you have like issues with them?
We fought several occasions. You know, they're both big, giant lummoxes, big, stupid cows. Sound like Chewbacca when they talk.
I've given them a stiff challenge right there, I'll tell you.
I hope they
I mean,
die.
that is literally the teachers versus the students.
And those, yeah.
We will see if True Grit are tough enough. That is for sure.
I see what happened.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
see
very
what
good.
I did there. But it's true, though. I mean, that is going to be a challenge. That's going to be their biggest challenge to date. A young up-and-coming tag team. They had a storming year last year. I saw them on quite a few cards, and I brought them in for the first show. Well, actually, they bullied their way in by drinking some beer and having a fight and creating some ruckus and problem. Reno Scum gave them a bit of a whipping a couple of times. And they had a thing going back and forth with hate. So this time, you know what? I just thought I'm going to give them a good
why not?
challenge.
Yeah.
Al Snow, Bob Holly. Teach these young whippersnappers a bit of respect. Let's see what they got.
Only time either one of them is gonna get head.
This is going to take True Grit to the next level. If they can get past this challenge, then, boy, I'll tell you, they're going to have a big 2018, 2019. I'm looking forward to seeing their future. They've got a lot of potential. So let's see if they can reach
Fair
it.
enough. Fair enough. That's
then we got,
Jesse James and
Hoss Hog.
Hoss Hogg
Hogg,
and
right,
Jesse
right.
James, yeah. And then we got Cholo against Mariachi Loco.
Mariachi Loco is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's known for his extended his stamina and his ability
Great ability.
to go to go long
Two
matches.
very underrated talents.
Lil Cholo, I actually used to train with him when he was 12 years old. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in the SoCal scene forever.
Yeah, he's a Lucha Vavoon champion.
Is he?
Yeah,
Is
and
he
he's
now?
obviously on Lucha Underground.
Lil
So,
Cholo, if you're out there, I want to give you a shout out.
big up Cholo.
Much-
You know Gabriel Iglesias, the
Yeah, I'm not
comedian.
real.
Yes, he's a
Yeah,
comedian.
Yeah.
Oh, is he
well,
funny?
we went to their studios, did a podcast with someone. Yeah. It's
I've
an
seen
acquired
that.
taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a Mexican dude, isn't he?
Oh
Mexican
well, there you
American.
go. You're
Build that wall. Build that wall. Get rid of
Jesus
Gabriel.
Christ.
There's nothing
Channel.
friendly about me and Mikey O'Shea. Mikey O'Shea is like me if I just gave up and got fat.
That looks like the Dead Rabbits against the Dead Rabbits, the gangs in New York, the Dead Rabbits and the.
I have no idea to
yeah,
what
yeah,
you are
yeah,
referring.
Daniel Day-Lewis movie.
Yeah,
Gangs
yeah.
of New York. Yeah.
Anyway, those two, they look
Yeah,
like straight out of
that's,
there.
Simon Grimm, he was Simon Gotch in the WWE.
Okay.
He's actually a California lad, but he's living in Orlando now, obviously, when he was in the WWE. He's in the Vaudevillains.
Right.
And then Bateman, who is a staple
fantastic
here.
wrestler.
He's just starting to get his well-deserved wind in his sails. He's now doing PWG. He's been a staple at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. When I saw these two guys, I was like, I've got to get this match together. Not just have they got
absolutely.
magnificent mustaches,
Right.
the clash of
Their
the
styles
stash.
is real Raw Bone style
But
too.
great, prize fighting style, really
Exactly.
rough, some good submission,
Yeah, a
good
little bit
technical
of this, a
wrestling.
little bit of 27
Do you know what?
bare knuckle rounds.
I'm thinking about it right now. I was thinking. Have you ever watched British wrestling?
You know what? That's what I was gonna be my next.
I'm debating on it. I haven't quite made a decision yet. I'm thinking about. I'm actually going to talk to the two of them. I actually really want to reach out to them, but I'm thinking about doing it under World of Sport rules, which is rounds,
so
three
rounds?
3-minute rounds.
Not a bad idea.
I've done
because it's a little
rounds.
bit of a difference, a little bit of a change. But I don't think either of them have done that European style, as in having rounds.
Right.
And I'm just going to sit in it and think about it because I don't want to like, wrestling fans in America, they're not used to the round system.
No,
And
but they're
don't
also
wanna-
not used to good wrestling because of what they see on TV. So you
Yeah.
give them a good match and they'll appreciate
So I'm
it.
going to talk to them. I'm thinking about laying a challenge there and saying, hey, do you fancy it? But I'm on the fence about it right now. I'm gonna
I
have a
would
little
say
think
do
about
it. Whatever
Yeah.
helps separate
I
your
might
show
do a
from
little.
the rest.
I might do a little thing and feel out some people out there and see what the crowd do. I'm leaning towards doing it. I'm actually going to talk to these two guys and see how they feel about it. If I get a positive answer from them this week, I think I might call that this week. And then the main event, I got Scorpio Sky against Douglas
Good
James. Scorpio Sky, staple. He was on the first PCW show when I was there.
I remember Scorpio Sky.
Go back, quite a ways back with Scorpio Sky.
He's one of the bigger names out here.
Yeah, he's getting his late dues now. He's doing Ring of Honor. He'll be wrestling next week actually. He'll be wrestling in Edinburgh and Scotland for Ring of Honor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They're in
he's
Edinburgh,
fighting Shane Taylor, who is, I
Yeah.
believe, a product from Wildcat out in New Orleans. He could be, but he's
I
from the
think it is,
south,
yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
So he's doing well now in Ring of Honor. He's assistant coach at the New Japan Pro Wrestling
in
Dojo
LA?
in LA with Shibata, the fellow
Yeah.
that got injured.
Sure.
And then Douglas James is somebody that I've known since Santino Brothers. I saw him at a Santino's Brothers show, and I was like, this guy's fantastic. Brought him into PCW. He has just finished up he had a contract with PCW for a year where he was exclusive to them in Southern
Really?
California. Yeah, as soon as that was up, I said to DJ, I said, hey man, I'd love to get you in.
Right.
And I think his time to shine is now. He's just recently wrestled PWG. He was just in the Crash. He's been doing a lot of work in Mexico. He's starting to get out and about now, and I think this is a great opportunity for him to move up into the main event slot on my show.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to see what he's got. I think those two are going to put a hell of a match on.
Yeah,
really
I watched
do.
him beat down a whole ring full of backyarders.
Oh, that was out in East LA at that
Yeah.
was it UEW show?
Yes.
Yeah, some guys that really had no business being in the ring.
Yeah.
And he delivered the justice.
Beautiful.
And
It was beautiful.
yeah, I did
Thing of
see
beauty
that.
is a joy forever. John Keats.
What? Yes.
Anyway.
Free
Yeah.
bird!
I remember that. DJ's guy, he did MMA as well. He's from New Jersey.
Is he?
And he actually, before he started training for wrestling, he was doing, I don't know what weight class he was. I'm guessing it was
What
probably...
did he fight under?
I don't know what companies, but he definitely did MMA before he
good,
did pro
good.
wrestling. So
Good for
that's another thing. Because Sky did it as well. He did had a brief
Did he?
sojourn. Yeah, and actually I listened to
here?
him. Yeah, he worked not major shows, but he had about 5 fights. In 2015 was his last fight. Rosie Red. Look at those men wrestling for the boys. Come and see some ass kicking action. We'll have a good time on a Sunday. You'll be home before 10 o'clock at night, tucked up in bed, ready for Monday, ready for work. It's
Doors
gonna be a
open
good
at 3
time.
p.m.
3
Bell
p.m.
time's at 4.
4 p.m. Come on down. We'd love to see you. I will have a beer. I've been having a little bit sabbatical from the alcohol, but I will have a beer after the show. So come join me for a beer after a great show.
And before we say goodbye, I want to talk a little bit about this seminar that you and I
Yes,
are collaborating
of course.
on.
That's why. That really is why we're here. I'm really excited. John, quickly, thank you very much. That's the handshake of, thank you for having us. But yeah, would you like to tell the, the viewers and listeners?
The day before, that is Saturday, June 23rd. We haven't set the exact time.
Yeah, we'll
have
get
we?
to it because this is literally the first announcement we've made of it. So this is it. The exclusive is right here.
Bob Holly and Al Snow will be conducting a pro wrestling seminar at the OCCW Wrestling School in Stanton, California, at the Della O Jiu-Jitsu Training Center. They're going to be going over such things as character development, actual technical ring wrestling, and a variety of other things. Al Snow will also have his collar and elbow tie-up, T-shirts, and attire and gear. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I think this would be, if you can name me another seminar with 2 outstanding coaches who have coached the best in the business, obviously we know all about Al Snow and Bob with Tough Enough. Al Snow just bought Ohio Valley Wrestling in Louisville, Kentucky. We know about the school well, actually it's a promotion as well, but we know about the standards there and who they produced, from Brock Lesnar to Randy Orton to John Cena to, although John Cena was out here at UPW, but, a lot of people have been polished and pushed out. CM Punk was another one. I think this isn't going to be, like a 1 hour, 2 hour seminar. This isn't going to be them sitting there watching you, evaluate you, and then you jump out of the ring. You're going to get one-on-one in the ring. It's going to be a proper seminar. It's going to be great for the younger workers in the Southern California scene and beyond, to be fair. We'll probably get lunch for everybody. We'll lay on a good spread. The
Meatball
OCCW,
sandwiches? Mama Della-O's famous meatball
the
sandwiches?
gym. I looked at quite two other places, and by far and away, school and the gym and everything is on a different level, and I want only the best for Al and Bob. I want them to come down and see what a real facility is like, not a pokey little place, somewhere where you can train, and this is the place, and they're going to love it. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll get more announcements out there on social media, put some pricing up, but you don't want to miss this. This is going to be a good one, and like I said, this is going to be if you're a worker and you're coming up in your craft, you're not going to want to miss this. This is going to be something that's going to be special out
Once
there.
again, that is Saturday, June 23rd. Al Snow, Hardcore Holly, Bob Holly, will be conducting a pro wrestling seminar at the Orange County Championship Wrestling School in the Della O Training Center. You going to be there?
I will be there. Just listening to Mikey Freedom, though, makes me want to bend the knee and start paying taxes to the crown. Just that voice and all the words.
Hell no, I'm an anarchist.
I gotta fight that urge.
No
taxation without
down with the
representation.
royalty. No, I'm all about the liberation of America now.
The liberation of America. Yes, because nothing says freedom.
colonies.
No more taxes.
Nothing says freedom.
Colonies are free.
Nothing says freedom like an Apache attack helicopter,
And
right?
chain link fences.
Hey, listen,
some
I
freedom
can't wait
coming
for
to
the
you.
seminar. I can't wait for the show.
I'm looking forward to it.
I really appreciate you having me down here, and it's been a great time.
Michael Freedom?
Yes, mate.
It's a real
Wonderful,
pleasure.
wonderful.
I
And we'll get
look
back
forward to doing
again,
business with you in the future.
we'll get back together
good.
again after all this, and
Sounds
we'll
good.
do another show. Yeah,
We'll do maybe we'll do some collaboration type
yeah,
stuff.
we'll do some. Well, maybe I'll come down to OCCW, put my mask back on, put my tights.
You're
pull
more
my
than
tights
welcome.
up,
We're more than
get the
welcome.
belly out.
I'll wrestle you anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime,
Yeah,
Mikey
yeah.
Freedom. I love
Only 3
freedom.
minutes, and I'm out.
All right, take care, Mike.
All right, guys. Hey,
All
good
right,
to see you.
first,
Peace out.
God save the Queen. All right, that said, all right, we're gonna wrap it up. That's gonna do.
What? From a real business owner and entrepreneur to this, how we have fallen. The views are dropping. Oh God, sell your stock now.
Hello, Michael Primrose. I'm pretty sure I changed the code on the door there. How did you get in?
I know people.
Yes, I'm sure you know a
Oh,
lot
I
of...
know people, John. You know, I heard a lot of boys grumbling about their paydays at the last show.
They all
Mr.
got
Malice?
they all got paid what they asked, what we worked out before. Well, how's that any of your business?
Everything's my business.
Okay, well,
Because you talk about real businessmen, you know, I am the real deal, and you know it. And
Tilt-A-Whirl and the Ferris wheel?
I am the real deal, the Ferris wheel and the tilt. I have taken the introductory course at every Taekwondo school in this county. You're all talking about these MMA
a
fighters. I know the
14-year-old
crane.
knocked you out.
The crane. She is very good. You don't know anything
She is
about
very
no
good.
wrestling, no fighting.
She is very good.
That
But,
kid is
but
wiry.
nonetheless,
And she's
the
15
only
now.
reason I came here is I came to extend an olive branch.
Oh, good. You're
Because
leaving?
my people, they did a little research. When I heard about these
Your
light
people.
paychecks, my people did a little research, and man, you got some mountain debt when it comes to OCCW, don't you? How long is OCCW going to be open? Another
Okay,
month?
no.
2 maybe?
Look,
you know.
okay.
So look at. I'm here. I'm here for you, John. I'm a businessman, and when I see good business, I jump at it. And I'm extending that olive branch, John. I'm gonna bail. I'm willing to bail you out. I'm willing to take that big debt that you have built up
It's not
and make
that
it
big.
zero.
There's a golden
Make it
parachute
zero.
for Azrael.
You know?
Yes.
But of course, I have to benefit from that as well.
Oh, you know what? You're putting the cart before the horse. A little bit of debt. Nothing I can't handle. And you know what? I'm offended that you would put this on my podcast. I thought you came in to have something interesting to say. Rather
I
than
think
trying
it's
to
really interesting. I
air
think your
some
fans
dirty
should know that
laundry.
the OCCW doors are months away from closing.
This is not
and
true.
Michael Primrose is here to save it all.
Okay, goodbye,
Fake
Michael
news.
Primrose. You can
Fake news.
Save your own ass before I throw you out myself.
Think about it.
You
Think
just-
about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'm here
very
for
funny.
you.
Not
I'm
a
here for you.
problem.
When the bill
All
collectors
right.
come knocking, call Michael Primrose and I'll make them go away.
You still here? Why don't you make Michael Primrose go away?
Good night, all. Good night.
For Orange
Dogs
County
are
Championship Wrestling, Tino Evil, and the Patchwork Show on the Modern Makers Festival. This is Jonathan Malice with my co-host, Azrael. Have a good night.
I don't believe